Hello and welcome to today's installment of the Daf Yomi Chullin Daf 71 Omid A, and it's the Steinsaltz edition. So let's dive straight in. Unlike with a non-kosher behemoth is included in the category of a non-kosher chaya, and a kosher behemoth is included in the category of kosher chaya. So behemoth and chaya are different words for animals. I think chaya is sort of a wild beast and a behemoth is more non-wild beast, I suppose. Accordingly, although the verse here is referring to a behemoth, it's understood to be referring collectively to both a behemoth and a chaya, and teaches that the carcasses of both types impart impurity. And upon hearing this, Ben Azai said to me in these words, "Whoa, chaval." Chaval? What's chaval? The explanation derived from the root ched-based lamed in accordance to the Aramaic, meaning havala, meaning loss, onto Ben Azai, who did not serve Rabbi Shmuel. So what does this mean? Ben Azai issued this remark about himself. He felt that it was to his detriment that he had not the opportunity to study under Rabbi Shmuel, who could have taught him many halachot he did not know. It is noted by the Maharat Hayut that Nisi Ben Azai asked Rabbi Yochanan, "What did Yishmael say about his master?" without entitling him with Rabbi. Once he had explanation cited in his name, he called him Rabbi Shmuel, in accordance with the statement that whoever learns even one matter from another must call him Rabbi. And that's from Perfect Obvious 6.3. The Gemara analyzes Rabbi Shmuel's statement. From where do we derive that? According to the Torah, that a chaya is included in the category of behemoth. As is written, these are the behemoth that you may eat: an ox, a sheep, and a goat, and a deer, and a gazelle, and a fallow deer, and a wild goat, and an ox, and an oroch, and wild sheep. Deuteronomy 14:4-5. Despite employing the term behemoth, the verse also lists the deer and the gazelle, which are undomesticated animals. How is this possible? From here it is evident that a chaya is included by the Torah in the category of a behemoth. From where do we derive that according to the Torah, a behemoth is included in the category of a chaya? As is written, these are the chaya that you may eat among all the behemoth that are on the earth. Whatever parts the hoof. In Leviticus 11:2-3, how is this possible? Well, the verse mentions a chaya and then refers to behemoth. This indicates that the domesticated animals included in the category of a chaya by the Torah. The Gemara further clarifies the principle that a kosher chaya included in the Torah in the category of a kosher behemoth is relevant in regard to the distinguishing characteristics. The simonim, what's the distinguishing characteristics? Say the distinguishing characteristics of a kosher animal are the same for domesticated and domesticated animals. The animal must have cloven hooves and chew its cud. That's the Mamma Sefer Kedusha Hilchot Makonat Asurat 1-2 Shulchan Aruch 79:1 of kosher animals. The Torah states, with regard to a domesticated animal, that only a species that chews its cud and has cloven hooves is kosher. Nevertheless, this requirement is understood as a reference to both domesticated and undomesticated animals. The principle that a non-kosher chaya is included in the Torah in the category of a non-kosher behemoth is relevant with regard to the prohibition against mating one species with another. Lahabar. If one mates two animals from different species liable to receive lashes, this applies to both domesticated and undomesticated animals, whether they are kosher or non-kosher. As in the Rambam Sefer Zerayim, Hilchot Kalayim 9:1-8, Shulchan Aruch Yodeh 297:1. The Torah states the prohibition with regard to behemoth: you shall not let your animal behemoth mate with a diverse kind. Leviticus 19:19. Nevertheless, there is from both a behemoth and a chaya. The principle that a non-kosher behemoth is included by the Torah in the category of a non-kosher chaya is relevant with regard to that which Rabbi Yehuda Nasi taught. As is stated above, the verse delineates a case in which one is obligated to bring a sliding scale offering as a determinant. A person who touched anything impure, or the carcass of an unkosher undomesticated animal chaya, or the carcass of a non-kosher domesticated animal, a behemoth, or carcass of an impure creeping animal, and is guilty, it having been hidden from him that he is impure, because fired to by. But the nature of the transgression, which the person quite determined, is not apart from the verse. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says, since a domesticated animal is also referred as a chaya, it would be sufficient if I would read, the verse would write only the clause about a chaya, and I would have known that one who touches the carcass of any non-kosher animal is impure, why then is an explicit clause about the behemoth stated it serves as a basis of a verbal analogy. It is stated here with regard to one who is unaware that he touched an impure item, non-kosher behemoth, and it is likewise stated below with regard to one who was unaware that he touched an impure item, non-kosher behemoth. In the following verse, and when anyone shall touch anything impure, whether it is the impurity of man or non-kosher behemoth, and then eats the flesh of a peace offering to the Lord, that such be cut off from his people. Leviticus 7:21. Just as below, the verse is referring to defining sacrificial foods, so too here, the reference is to defining sacrificial foods. The derivation is necessary because with regard to the sliding scale offering, the verse simply states, and is guilty, it being hidden from him that he is impure, Leviticus 5:2, without specifying the reason for his guilt. The verse is certainly not deeming him guilty for merely being in a state of impurity, as there is no prohibition against being impure within the Ramban on Leviticus 5:2. Rather, it must be referring to an impure person who rendered something else impure. Since it is prohibited by Torah law to partake of two more while one is impure, the verse could have been understood to refer as referring to such a case. Accordingly, the derivation is necessary to teach when liable for the offering only in a case where he partook an offering while impure. See Shavuot 7:2. And therefore, when the time scale offering as determined, the Gemara clarifies the final statement. The principle that a kosher behemoth is included by the Torah and a kosher chai is relevant with regard to the formation of children. As we learn in the mission is 21a, with regard to a woman who miscarries a fetus that appears to be in the form of a type of behavior. With regard to a woman who miscarries a fetus that looks like a type of behavior, a bird, if its face is like that of a person, it is considered a child, and the woman is impure with the impurity of childbirth. If it does not have a human face, it is not considered a child, and she remains pure. Similarly, according to the opinion of the rabbi, the Rashba states that nowadays no one is expert in these features. The halacha is to be stringent, and she did impure in all cases. As the Rambam says, Shoibeya 10:8, Jochanoch Yodea. On the 94:3, chaya or bird, whether it has a form of a non-kosher species or a kosher species, if the fetus is a male, then she observes a period of impurity required for giving birth to a male. The mission continues, and if the fetus is a female, then she observes a period required for giving birth to a female. And after giving birth to a male, a woman is impure for 7 days, during which it is prohibited of engaging in intercourse. During the next 33 days, she may immerse in a ritual bath at any time. Afterwards, she is permitted to engage in intercourse, even if she then experiences a discharge of uterine blood. Nevertheless, during the entire 30-day period, she may not enter the temple, being condemned with the consecrated food, but to the length of each of these periods, the temple takes 14 and 66 days. 12 to 5. If the fetus is known, she observes the strictures of a woman who gave birth to a male and to a female. Accordingly, she prohibited for her to engage in intercourse for 14 days after birth, after which she immerses in a ritual bath. After that, she is permitted to engage in intercourse despite any discharge of uterine blood for 40 days after birth. For 33 days following the 7 days, she would have been prohibited from engaging in intercourse if the fetus was male. The prohibition against entering the temple, however, continues to pass from the birth. This is a statement of Rabbi Meir. The Gemara also in 22b explains that Rabbi Meir derives his opinion from the fact that the temple formation is used to describe the formation of man. The Lord formed man in Genesis 2:7. Formation of animals and birds. The Lord God formed every animal, a chaya of the field, the bird of the air. Genesis 2:19. Furthermore, he holds the temple chaya is referring to both domesticated and domesticated animals. Include that woman observes these periods of purity and impurity, either has the form of any of these types of animals. As the Bible says, any fetus that is not of human form is not regarded as an offspring. With regard to observance of these periods of purity and impurity, she is permitted to engage in intercourse, provided she does not experience a discharge of uterine blood. They will return to explain the opinion of the rabbi cited in the Mishnah. We will hold that a dead fetus found inside the mother's womb does not imply impurity, depending on whether it is of a kosher or non-kosher animal. Rabbi Yosef Galili disagrees and holds that a dead fetus inside a non-kosher animal imparts impurity. He derives this from the verse, a person who touched anything impure, or the carcass of a non-kosher chai, or the carcass of a non-kosher behemoth, carcass of an impure creeping animal, and is guilty in Leviticus 5:2, which is referring only to non-kosher animals. The Gemara asks, According to the rabbis, why do I need this verse? Rashi explains, in accordance with the standard version of the text, that at this point the Gemara returns to the statement of known by Yitzchak and the previous Ahmad with regard to the opinion of Rabbi Yosef reading this Rashi. Although early commentaries say that the version of the Gemara text, this works out well according to the opinion of Rabbi Meir, but according to the opinion of the rabbis, what can be said? This version understands the Gemara to be continuing the previous discussion with regard to the form of child. And I was asking whether the principle that occurs by him is including the category of Chai is relevant only according to the opinion of Rabbi Meir, also according to the opinion of the rabbis. The Gemara answers, according to the rabbi, the statement that Behemoth is including the category of Chai is necessary under the laws of non-kosher Behemoth. The Chai states Behemoth is nothing. The Lord talks about and the Rosh the Gemara answers. The verse comes to teach that which Rabbi Yehuda taught in the Bible said earlier, that the verse obligates one to make a slight scale offering only in cases where one partook from the food or entered the temple or in a state of impurity of which one was unaware. With regard to a woman whose fetus died in a womb. With regard to a woman whose fetus died in the womb, and the midwife extended her hand into the womb and touched the fetus, the midwife was impure for 7 days by opening the decree. This occurred enacted because the rabbis were concerned the midwife might have touched the fetus after it had emerged. Because the woman herself remains impure until the child actually emerges. This was in accordance with the Mishnah as explained by Rabbi Oshaya on 72b. Roman Sefer Tahari Halchas Meis 25:12. The midwife extended her hand to the womb, touched the fetus, and the midwife thereby rendered impure with 7 days. Impurity implied by the court, and the woman remains impure until the offspring emerges from the womb. The Gemara 72b will discuss the reason for the difference between the mother and the midwife. Rabbah says, just as a richly impure item that is encapsulated within our body does not impart rich impurity, Rabbeinu Gershom Mohagola explained that the Gemara cites this statement as an explanation for the ruling in the Mishnah with regard to a fetus that died in utero. By contrast, Rashi explains that this is an independent statement derived from the verse cited further in the discussion. This explanation is consistent with Rashi's opinion C72a that the Mishnah's ruling is not necessarily based on the halacha of an encapsulated impurity. Rather, it is an expression within the principle discussing more further on that impurity by contact is departed from one item, not only when the contact is made to an exposed surface. Other commentators disagree with this opinion of Rashi. Ultimately, even according to the discussion made in the Gemara, the mission is based on the concept of encapsulated impurities. He tells verse 72a. The early commentators offer various rationales as to why an encapsulated impure item is not meant that the item is impure, but it is to extend the understanding that the principle applies only to impure items within the living body, which is the opinion of the Rambam CK and the client Rashi here suggests that the item is regarded as though it's been digested. And in the 42b, he added it considered to be non-existent, and that is why it is not part of impurity, either through physical contact or by being carried. And some of the main others explain that impurity is considered to be part of the body. Rabbi Shimshon of Psalms and Mikvah 8:10:8 and from the Meiri. A different understanding based on the ruling of the Rambam is that the encapsulated body sits in a position preventing an item inside from the body impurity to the impurity from an item outside of it. Since the lack of a metal that is closed by a tightly sealed cover, which the impure item inside it from becoming impure, from which the lack of an item inside a person is related to it. Influence. Impure item comes inside the living body. Item come in contact with it, so too is impure item as accompanied with the body cannot be rendered impure if it comes in contact with an impure item. For example, if one swallowed a ring that was actually pure and then entered a tent containing a corpse, the ring would not be rendered impure. The Gemara asks, but when we divide an encapsulated impure item not impart impurity, as is written, and one who eats of its carcass shall wash his clothes and be impure until the evening, Leviticus 11:40. He must immerse his body and garments in a ritual bath, and then becomes impure at sunset. Are we not dealing with the case of one ate from the carcass close and yet the medicine will state that he is pure when the sun sets, despite the fact that his stomach still contains pieces of the carcass and not yet been digested? If so, it is apparent that an encapsulated impure item does not impart impurity. The Gemara challenges, but perhaps it is different there. As regards the prohibition of eating a carcass in the Torah states, you should not eat any carcass. You may give it to a Gentile resident who is in your city. Deuteronomy 14:21, the juxtaposition of the two parts of the verse, that the prohibition is limited to a carcass that is fit to be given to a Gentile resident to the human consumption. Accordingly, perhaps the carcass the person ate does not impart impurity, it is no longer fit for a Gentile resident. The Torah Leviticus 11:39-40 states the basic principle that animal carcass is considered a primary category of rich impurity, which imparts impurity to people and vessels that come into contact with it or carry it. To render oneself pure from this impurity is necessary to immerse in ritual bath and wait until night. In addition, the Torah says in Deuteronomy 14:21 that a carcass may be given to a Gentile for him to eat. The Gemara understands from this that the Torah regards as a carcass only that which is fit for human consumption, and consequently only as such a carcass is deemed a primary category of rich impurity. The application of the limitation is subject to dispute between Pada and Bukhas 23a. 30 by the Gemara here. The Pada maintains the limitation that the carcass of human consumption pertains only to is imparting the ritual level. The level of impurity bothered by severe primary category of rich impurity, but he concedes that a carcass that is not fit for human consumption, but is fit to be consumed by a dog, also part of impurity. In such a case, the carcass is rendered as possessing a lighter which impurity, which is limited in that it can impart impurity only to food items. He explains that it is impure with first degree impurity because it should not be viewed as any different from food that was impure to contact with a carcass. So for human consumption, such food is imbued with first degree rich impurity, continues to carry that level of impurity until the point no longer fit to be consumed by a dog, says Rashi. Rabbi Yochanan disagrees and maintains the limitation of the carcass be fit for human consumption requires that only there be a point in time at which it was fit. If it was known as fit, it would not carry any rich impurity at all. And if it was fit, then even if it subsequently deteriorated, it would continue to be primary category impurity as long as it was still fit to be consumed by a dog. I.e., it is known as for human consumption. The Gemara comments that the effectiveness of the proof depends on whether a carcass can impart impurity to a person despite it not being fit for human consumption. This proof works out well according to opinion of Rabbi Yochanan, who says a carcass imparts impurity to both this a person and that food, even if it's unfit for human consumption until it is no longer fit for consumption by a dog. With regard to any food that became impure and subsequently spoiled, if for human consumption but still fit to be eaten by a dog, it retains its status of impurity. If it is no longer fit to be eaten by a dog, it is virtually pure. Lacha, with regard to the dispute in the Gemara, is according to the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan. Sefer Tahara Hilchat Tumas Ocholim 2:18. According to this opinion, the proof is understood well, as the carcass in a person's stomach still has the ability to impart impurity to him because it is still fit for consumption by a dog. Therefore, it is apparent that the only reason it does not impart impurity is that it is encapsulated within his body. But according to the opinion of Pada, who said that a carcass has the severe form of rich impurity, which can impart impurity to people only while it is fit to be eaten by a Gentile resident, and has the light form of rich impurity. Rashi explains that the severe form of rich impurity the Gemara is referring to is the impurity possessed by a carcass fit for human consumption, which is the primary category of rich impurity. Such a carcass has the capacity to render even people impure. The lesser form of impurity is the impurity possessed by a carcass no longer for human consumption, which is impure with physical impurity, when the food but not people impure. Alternatively, Rashi Mocha 23b states the severe form of which impurity is where the carcass is fit for human consumption, and about impurity either through contact or through carrying, while the less severe form of which impurity is where it is not fit for human consumption, and about impurity only through contact. The explanation assumes that both from impurity come from the carcass itself, and to part that even if the carcass is not fit for human consumption, it is still the source of its impurity. Further, according once a carcass is no longer for human consumption, it can no longer be a source of its impurity at all. It's no longer remain hananel. Even until the point that it is no longer for consumption by the dog, this proof is flawed. This is because it's not possible that the carcass in the person's stomach does not render him impure, because it is no longer for human consumption. Can one claim that the carcass cannot impart impurity because it is no longer fit for a Gentile resident? Granted, the carcass is not fit to be eaten by someone when it was eaten in his presence, as he is aware that it was swallowed and considered disgusting to eat a swallowed item, but it is still sometimes fit for a person to eat when it was eaten not in his presence and he is unaware that it had been previously swallowed. It is possible one considers a small piece of it is not chewed prior to swallowing, and one concedes this point and therefore accepts the proof. The Gemara asks, we found the source for the halacha that an encapsulated impurity. From where do we derive that impurity that is encapsulated within another body can not be rendered impure if it comes to contact with an impure item? The Gemara explains. The derived term of fortiori inference. If the earthenware vessel that's closed with a tightly sealed cover, so the footnote, some apostle, a sealed cover. In general, any personal item susceptible to impurity that is under the same roof as a corpse is impure by the corpse. One of it is described in this principle states, and every open vessel which has no sealed cover upon it is impure. Is impure in Numbers 19:15. The sages derive from here a significant exception to the rule. If an item is contained within a tightly sealed earthenware vessel, it is not rendered impure despite ultimately being made on the same roof as a corpse. The Mishnah in Chullin 10:2 clarifies that the cover must be stuck to the vessel, or the opening of the vessel must be fully sealed, e.g. with tar or wax, which does not shield or prevent the impure piece of a corpse contained within it. And the vessel does not shield a piece of a corpse contained within it from imparting impurity to items in the house in which it is situated, even if the vessel is closed with a sealed cover. From Sefer Ha'Chatim 28. From imparting impurity to the items in the same tent as it. The Gemara interrupts the explication of the inference and clarifies. As I said, the impure piece of a corpse that is in a tight space, e.g., it is buried in the ground and there is not a handbreadth of hollow space above it, beneath it, it breaks through above the earth and ascends up to the heavens. What does that mean? With regard to an item that imparts impurity to other items on the same roof, e.g., a piece of corpse, if there is less than a handbreadth of airspace under the roof, impurity is not spread to the items under that roof, rather it breaks through and ascends to the heavens, and likewise break through and descends to the depths, in according to the mission of Ochalot 14:6, and also in Rambam Sefer Ha'Chatim 7:5, and imparting impurity in that path. The Gemara resumes the explication of the inference. Although the tightly sealed earthenware vessel does not shield the impure item, it does shield a pure item contained within it from being made impurity. Numbers 19:15. An earthenware vessel with a tightly sealed cover shields pure items inside it from becoming impure. For example, if there is a tightly sealed earthenware vessel inside a house and that contains a piece of a corpse, but items inside the vessel remain pure. By being the halacha applies only to food and drink inside the vessel, not the vessel within that vessel. That's the Rambam Sefer Ha'Chatim 21:23. So that's the end of the first Omen. That was a long Omen. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you benefited. Take care. All the best. Bye.